Hey, good morning or good afternoon, and welcome back to my channel. You're looking at some pallets, and my plan with this is to build a raised strawberry bed. Back a number of years ago, I managed a community garden, and part of the garden was dedicated to a children's area, and so we had raised beds so that the kids could walk around the beds, and one of the ones we did was for strawberries. So partly I'm going to cut this down to here so the height will be appropriate for working around, and then I'll be able to use these extra boards in between to make the spaces a little bit more narrow. And you'll see in the latter part of the video, this is burlap, and the burlap will be put on the inside of this. The two sides will be spaced maybe 18 to 20 inches apart and filled with soil. With the burlap on this, on the other side, we'll poke holes through the burlap into the soil that will be within the two sides of the bed, and then the strawberries will be planted kind of like a strawberry pot, if y'all know what those are. Hey y'all, welcome back. So this is the next part of the strawberry bed build. I'm out here with Artemisia. She's coming to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna pull out some small staples that are along here, and I'm going to pull off some of the slats so I can use them to fill in spaces, as this bed will be too tall in the current length that we have here. So getting the nails out, first one, split the board a little bit. I think it's going to be okay, but I'll show you how it goes together in a few seconds here. As you're taking pallets apart, these nails have a spiral twist to them, and they also add this little bit of copper or something to make them really stick in the wood. So if you have a difficulty, just persevere, they will come out. So now this is from the back side. I've taken off the top slat. I'm leaving the middle one and the bottom one to create strength for the structure. I will use the 3 slats that I took off to fill in these empty spaces, and I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so these will be put in place in between the existing slats to leave a small space, which is where the strawberry plants will be poked through, and you'll see that eventually. In the meantime, I don't have any other slats, and these spaces that were left are too narrow to put a full-size slat in. So digging around in the scrap lumber pile, I found these pieces, which will again create the perfect space for the strawberry plants. So I'm going to put this together, and then I'll show you the next step. I've gone ahead and cut off the extra length, having removed the slats. So this bed will be an appropriate height for strawberries and to work around. And then this is the slat that will indicate the top of the bed. And you'll see that in just a moment. For any of these narrow places that a full-size slat will not fit, then the next step is to find some boards that will be the end pieces for this bed. This bed does not have to be really wide. You can make it any dimensions you like. I'm choosing to do a more of a longer rectangle, and then line up the sides with the best sunlight. Now I'm in New Mexico, so I'm choosing to, how I set it up will be dependent on getting sun on the strawberries, yet not overheating them, because the sun out here is really fierce. So very different than North Carolina, I'm learning. Anyway. There it is. We got 2 sides for the strawberry bed completed. Now I'm going to focus on putting this together with the end pieces. Well, the wind is picking up and it's getting cloudy, so I'm going to end here, but I will show you what I did for the short side pieces. Just reusing scrap lumber, so these are the 2 sides. Don't worry, it will work. Well, it's a glorious sunshiny day, quite nice out here, so this is my moment to get the burlap into the frame. I had some struggles not doing the burlap, but getting my staple gun to work. But anyway, let me show you from this side. So there's the spaces in between the slats, and you can see light through the burlap. Then the soil is going to be on the inside of this bed. Little holes will get poked through for the strawberry plants. This is where the bottom of the bed is, and what I'm thinking is as I put the frame, the 2 sides and the short sides together, I will put some sort of wire screening on the bottom of this, because my intuition is little mice will probably try to get in from the bottom and build homes. This is going to be quite cozy once it's put together. Anyway, the staples just hold this into place, and once it's filled with soil, the soil itself will push against this. I'm quite pleased, and I'll show you once I get the whole thing put together. Okay, got the sides on. I stained the slats because we were doing another project with cedar stain, so I went ahead and stained the slats. And then here is this side, and looking around the other way. What I'm going to do now is measure this. So here's what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to measure this to determine what the volume of soil is going to be required to fill this strawberry bed. Additionally, I just cut some of this mesh wire screening, which will go on the bottom of the bed, so it will prevent any critters from crawling up inside, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So I just have to figure out how to attach this to the bed and then get this bed in place where it's going to be, because once the soil's in it, I don't think it's going to be movable. Okay, I flipped the bed over and I just laid the wire mesh screening on top to see what it looks like. You'll probably remember I talked about these slats staying in on the bottom to give the base a little bit more stability. So I can cut this so it, it doesn't extend over an area where strawberries would be being planted, but it will just be, nailed to the bed, or possibly on these wide edges I could staple it or nail it there. Overall, I am really pleased with how this turned out. So the next thing is to buy some potting soil, get this in place, and start planting strawberries. Well, I visited the garden center and I got an assortment of topsoil, compost, and organic potting soil. The wind was so strong here the other day, it actually knocked the strawberry planter over. So I've got some ideas about that, which I will show you as we go forward. I've gone ahead and attached the screening to the bottom to keep small critters out. I'm determining the cardinal points, and so we're facing just a little bit off of east-west here. I'm gonna play with it a little bit more to see how it feels, and I realized I could take a big piece of rebar, cut a hole through the corner over here, pound the rebar in to act as stabilizer within the bed in case there's another really big wind. Even with this filled with soil, I don't underestimate the wind strength out here. It's fierce. Okay, so let me do that and I'll show you. I've pounded the rebar in about 12 inches. Okay, there's the alignment. So be looking like that on the east side, and right now we got that much sun on the west side, and the tree hasn't leafed out yet, so there's that. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. I threw some cottonwood bark in the base of this so soil wouldn't sift out through the screening. Okay, so I've used 1 bag of the Pro Mix. Now this does have peat moss, coconut coir, perlite, ground limestone, a wetting agent, don't know what that is, and some mycorrhizal. I've used Scott's topsoil, which is formulated from 1 or more of the following: processed forest products, rice hulls, native soil, food waste, and compressed sphagnum peat moss. I put in half the bag of the organic soil, and this, similar to the other one, says that it is from forest products, food waste, agricultural waste, food processing waste, processed manure, agricultural processing waste, and compost, and poultry litter. So hopefully the critters were eating good things. And then I put in 1 of the Nature's Way compost bags, and this also is a mix of different ingredients that have been composted. Additionally, I added some vermiculite, which is going to help hold moisture. And the secret ingredient, won't be secret anymore, is a mycorrhizal plant inoculant. So I'm going to mix this into the water, and I'm going to water the soil with this, as well as soak the strawberries in the water that has the microbe enhanced inoculant in it. And this hopefully is going to give the strawberries a good start. So I'm going to start putting the soil into the bed. So I just filled the first batch of soil and mixed the second batch, so I'm going to empty that in, and hopefully I measured right. We'll find out. If I need to, I'll go back and get another bag or 2. Well, you can see by the sunlight coming through the burlap that I am shy of potting soil. So this will be continued 1 more day. So the other thing I was checking is, does it move? And it rocks just a little bit. So if necessary, I can put a piece of rebar on the outside just to prevent it from tipping, since the other piece is down in there. Okay, to water the bed deeper down, Robert suggested I take a PVC pipe and drill some holes in it, and then this would get sunk down in the bed and would pour water into the top and be able to get the water to travel further into the bed and seep out slowly. Alternately, I might get another one of the Oya ceramic pots to sink into the top of this. We'll see. I'm going to put these things in first. I have to make or find some sort of an end cap for these so that the water seeps out slowly and doesn't just flow out through the bottom. Today is April the 17th. I'm on the east side of the strawberry bed, checking the temperature on the outside of the planter. So got, y'all see that? Yeah, 84 on the fabric. Fabric's a little bit warmer, 86 degrees. Up top here, the overall soil temperature down in the bed is about 55 degrees, and the moisture meter is showing that we're getting a little dry. I got the tubes set in here, and I just put these sticks in to keep dirt and stuff from coming out. Let's go ahead on the west side. Here on the west side, y'all are seeing that it's 65 degrees slats, and 62 on the fabric. So this is an experiment, and we will see what happens. But I would just say, if this works for me, some of y'all living in drier places may like to give this a try. Obviously, this is the way I built the bed, but it's open to you. However y'all want to create a space for strawberries. The main reason I'm doing this vertically, well, a couple reasons. Number one, the cats are less apt to dig around and get into the strawberries and use it as a litter pan. And number two, it's going to be easier to harvest the strawberries, and they will stay cleaner because they're not on the ground. I will get to planting these on Thursday. The signs are better for fruit on Thursdays, so I think that's going to be my moment to do this. So that's basically all there is to it. I'll be cutting little slits into the burlap fabric. Once everybody's planted, I'll give it a drink. I actually have to purchase more strawberries. I only have the 3 I put up top, which I'll show you now. These ones up here. I've got some that we just bought that have not activated yet. And then I've got these few in this bag here. So I'm gonna get them planted, and this weekend we'll go to the garden center nearby and purchase some more strawberries to finish filling this out. I'll do updates later on into the season and let y'all know how this is going. Thanks for joining me in this video. See y'all in the next one.